What is up, everybody? Today is a day for another Huaqiangbei speaker. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Treblab HD Force. Now, Treblab is not necessarily a Huaqiangbei brand, but just like what Rockville did with Xdobo, they probably just sent an inquiry to China and have them send some Bose Downlink Revolve lookalike speaker to them, and then brand it as Treblab. Here's the Treblab HD Force. Anyways, as you can see with a handle like this, it resembles the Bose Downlink Revolve Plus. It's about the size of a JBO Charge, whatever generation it is on right now. So nothing really special. The only difference between this and some other the Bose speaker is the fact that it's not a 360-degree speaker, although it would suggest it is, but it's not. It's only got drivers here and here, and a downfiring subwoofer. There's no drivers on the rear, so you really wouldn't call it a 360-degree speaker, nor is it a Bose Downlink Revolve clone. Anyways, let's do a sound check. I'm going to be comparing it against the Zicoroop, and I'm also going to compare it against the UE Megablast, which is indeed a 360 speaker. Alright, anyways, we shall start with the Treblab. Both speaker, I'm matching it to the 50% of the Zicoroop. So let's start from the Treblab. Alright, now I'll be cranking both of them to the maximum. This is a Treblab right now. Well, that's it. Maximum volume. So, I think it's pretty obvious that the Zicoroop has way more bass. The treble clarity is also better extension, but it has less mids than the Treblab. It also does get a little louder. Let's now compare the Treblab to the UE Megablast. Alright, now we're comparing it against the UE Megablast. And let me check the angles a little bit. It's a little tall. Alright, there you have it. Now we're going to also start from the Treblab first, and I'll switch between them. So let's go. Starting from the Treblab. And apparently the speakers are like that, so I'm going to be placing it like this.
Just a dream I'm having inside my fantasies. Come to me. You are in my thoughts.
Alright, now I'll be cranking both of them to the maximum volume. We're going to also start with a Treblab. Alright, so there you have it. As you can see, sound-wise, the Megablast, I guess the Megablast is a little more comparable. It's not as bassy. It doesn't have as much deep bass as the Zicoroop. However, it's still bassier than the Treblab. The Treblab severely lacks bass. The treble on the Megablast, despite not on the axis, is still more clear, in my opinion. And it also gets a little louder. So I guess the results is pretty clear. I don't think this Treblab is anything special. Oh well, that being said, can't be helped. This thing is about $85, and honestly, I really wouldn't recommend spending that much money for something like this. If you're going to spend something around $80, why not just, I don't know, save about $20 and get a Zicoroop instead? It's not 360 degrees. Hey, it's not like these are actually 360. But, get a Zicoroop. I really, honestly, I don't know if there's any decent 360 degree speakers out there that is around the $80-$90 range that actually sounds decent. The Tribit Stormbox Pro has an upgraded version. Supposedly has an improvement on bass, because that's the biggest issue with the old ones, but I haven't tried it out yet, so I can't say for sure. Honestly, in my opinion, looking at the Amazon market these days, I'm gonna say the Stormbox Pro Gen 2 is probably the only contender in this price range that could possibly outperform this thing. I don't know about the Tron Smart T7, but like I said, I don't like funky 2.1 designs. The only one, the Anchor one, I remember sounded a little better than these, but that one's discontinued, so I don't really know anymore. And I don't know. I just think don't buy this thing. Just, it's not that great. It's harsh sounding. It lacks bass, and well, the build quality isn't so great either. I'll show you that once I get to taking this thing apart. Let's do that now. So the top part comes off pretty easily. All you gotta do is pry it off and then unscrew a couple of screws in this first layer. There's this microphone connection. You remove that and it would reveal this circuit board. This is the circuit board with the LEDs and the buttons. There's no any sort of IC on it. That's the RGB ring outside here. And that reveals this. Now, this would also have to be removed in order to get this whole cloth cover off. We're going to do that. We'll remove the handle and the entire top part. So the grill comes off. It reveals this. This is the speaker. And, you got your full range drivers, and you got the subwoofer in the bottom. I will be taking it apart. Look at it. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think there's another one here. 6 tiny passive radiators. I don't know what they're thinking, but oh well. Wow. I don't know. 6 little itty bitty passive radiators. Is that gonna sound good? I guess that's probably why it lacks bass so bad. And look at that. So many chambers. It's got 2 sealed chambers for the mid-high drivers, and then these 2 are for the passive radiator. It's actually the same chamber as the subwoofer. You can see the 2 little holes that's connected to the main subwoofer chamber down here. This is so stupid. If I were the Treblab guys, I would have just used 4 of these, 4 tiny 2-inch drivers, 2 here, and then like another 2 over here. Not only would I get like a 360-degree sound, I would probably be able to push more bass through it, because you get one big enclosure space for 4 drivers. It's going to give it a better deep low-end extension to it. This is a driver. It's a very short cable. Yeah, it's pretty bad. This is about 1.5 inch, about the size of a JBL Flip 4 driver, but it's a smaller magnet. Doesn't say anything on the back of the magnet, but yeah, it's very generic. You don't expect anything decent. Here is for 18650, 7.2 volts. My guess is about 5,000 milliamp hours. This is the main circuit board with all the amplifier and everything. So yeah, this is the battery. Alright, taking a look at the motherboard, we got yet another MV Silicon DSP chip, Bluetooth all-in-one. This is the BP1048B2. So yeah, you could probably program it with your own stuff, and I did actually try to do it with ACP Workbench, and to be honest, I gave up because no matter how much I tweak it, you're not getting any deep bass without distortion, nor are you getting any decent high notes. It doesn't really reach all the way up there. We got two ESMT 52058. Let me turn on the light here. 52058 chips. One of them in BTL, the other in stereo. The stereo one is this one. This is for the two satellite speaker drivers, the small 1.5 inch units. And this is for that 3-inch subwoofer there. In bridge mono, those are 30 watts. In stereo, they're 15 watts per channel, so you're getting about 60 watts out of this thing. Then again, it's your typical 3-chip configuration extension, except for the fact that it's using two amplifier chips for the woofer and the full range drivers. But yeah, it's a typical, you got your power supply area, USB charging, and it's probably got a communication chip so that you could hook it up to the computer via USB, and auxiliary in and all that stuff. And then you got some LED drivers here as well, the battery charger, and then your Bluetooth chip. So pretty typical, except for the fact that it is in 2.1 configuration rather than just stereo. Alright, I'm going to get to that subwoofer in there, and I'll show you the unit. I already recorded a bass test because I actually taken this apart once. And I had to do some modifications just so I could put it back together. Apparently, when they are, assembling this whole thing, they really didn't consider, how the repairability of this whole thing. I mean, I get it, it's cheap, but you can't even take it apart again. That's kind of bullshit. You see, this is all filled with blobs of glue. I had to, rip it out of here because this thing was so short that I can't connect this back. I have to pull it out a little bit more. I mean, the flat flex cable is certainly long enough, but I guess the assembly line guys just didn't think through it. And I also had to cut a little hole in there just so it would fit through these wires and wouldn't be stuck. Otherwise, I wasn't able to put this plate back in place. And in order to pop that plate off, I'd also have to make this hole so that I could put my screwdriver in there. It is a poorly engineered device. They really didn't think through how it would have been, better for whoever is going to be repairing this thing, so that you can take it apart easier and all that stuff. It really is a poorly engineered device. And the 6 passive radiator, that's the dumbest design I've seen for a while. That's so fucking funny. Why 6 passive radiators when you could either 1, tune it as a sealed enclosure, 2, use a port, 3, use bigger passive radiators? I would just lean towards to not using passive radiators at all. I mean, this already don't have any bass. It's not like it matters or anything. These passive radiators, honestly, to me, doesn't sound like they do shit. Anyways, let's get to that 3-inch subwoofer. There's that subwoofer unit. Looks like a decent driver, 3-inch driver. Well, I had to extend the wires soldered onto it because I couldn't put it back when it's so short. They really didn't think it out. You can't replace the driver when it gets water damaged or it gets blown or something. No good luck replacing this damn thing if you don't know how to, do advanced soldering because it's in a strange angle. It's very difficult to get to it. So yeah, it's a bad design. I mean, what do you expect? It's got 6 fucking passive radiators. That's the dumbest shit ever. Anyways, let's take that. Let's pop this woofer out, see what we're looking at. Alright, here's your driver. Just your regular ferrite magnet driver. It's pretty beefy. It's pretty decent. Doesn't say how many watts, but I'm going to guess around 20 to 30. Nice high roll surround. Good extrusion. I did the test. It was moderately clean. As long as you don't, max it out. It's not no venting on the spider, but doesn't really affect its excursion capabilities, to be honest. So yeah, there you have it. That's like the complete teardown of this whole damn thing. It was a fucking journey. It was so stupid. You gotta get through so much stuff just to, get to this final subwoofer driver. Would I recommend trying to mod this? No, because the enclosure, it's horribly made. It's tuned horribly. This is probably the worst tuned Bluetooth speaker I've owned up to this point, disregarding the dumbass King One crap. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Even the old King ones I had, some of them are even better than this thing in terms of its tuning and all. Those have deeper resonance frequency and better tuned passive radiators. These things are just fucking soft and doesn't really make much bass except for, accordion bass. It's so stupid. I hate this thing. Don't buy this. The quality is just not non-existent. Maybe the amplifier is okay, but that's all. The whole enclosure, structure, very poorly designed. Yeah, stay away from crap like this. But anyways, there you have it, guys. So I guess we can conclude today's Huaqiangbei speaker, a Huaqiangbei flop. And there you go. See you next time.